Hi everybody! Do you know what time it is? It's story time, one of my favorite times of the day. Today I'm going to read to you from an author named Phoebe Gilman. Phoebe Gilman has written many books, and her first book ever was called The Balloon Tree. You might be familiar with it, you might not. Phoebe Gilman is an amazing author and illustrator, and the illustrations are quite complex, including even the borders of the pictures. And Phoebe Gilman, in writing this book first, included a picture from this book in each of her next books that she wrote. So that's always a fun I Spy thing to do, is to find part of this story in one of the other ones. We'll definitely read another one of hers just so you can find it. So the story called The Balloon Tree, I'm going to ask you to think about what happens in the beginning, what happens in the middle, and what happens in the end. And I want you to think about three things. Try to find three different things that happen in the middle of the story. So if you think of the hamburger bun, there's the top bun and the bottom bun. But the thing that makes it a hamburger is the meat, or meat-free patty. And you might have cheese or lettuce or tomatoes or pickles or onions or special sauce or mushrooms or something else inside your burger that makes it juicy and delicious. So the hamburger model is a great way to think about stories, because very often the beginning, the good way to get to know the story and the characters, and then we get into the middle of the story, what's happening. And then usually there's some kind of problem or dilemma or situation that needs to be resolved. And then the end of the story, the other bun, usually contains the resolution to the story. The problem is solved, or the mystery is solved, or the problems in more than one way can be resolved at the end of the story. So today I want you to think about that, because after I read you the story, your assignment is going to be to write to me about the beginning, the middle, and the end. If you want to think about it with a piece of paper in your hand and start to jot down ideas while I'm reading, you're welcome to do that, but you don't need to be too fancy. I just want you to write me a couple sentences about the book, okay? The Balloon Tree. As so many books, good quality books, begin, there's pictures that are not in the story, but they certainly give clues to the story. Long, long ago, and far away, across a wide ocean, there was a small, happy kingdom. In a big castle at the top of its highest hill lived the king and his daughter, Princess Leora. Princess Leora loved playing and singing and dancing, but most of all, she loved balloons. The castle was always full of them. Then one day, messengers came with an invitation for the king. His Majesty, the great King of Kaluna, invites your Majesty to a royal tournament. Please bring your bravest knights. Can I come too? Princess Leora asked. I'm sorry, said her father, not this time, but I won't be gone long, and your uncle will look after things here. I want you to help him. Now I'm going to ask you to look at the picture clues before I read this page to you. We can see the uncle in this picture, and I want you to think about what his face looks like, maybe what he's feeling, and then I want you to try and find him in this picture. See if you can read anything that he might be planning. Does he look joyful? Does he look like someone you would want to stay with while your parents were away? Let's find out. not the Archduke," Princess Leora said. "I don't like him. He's grumpy and he never plays games, and what will I do if something goes wrong?" "Don't worry," said the king. "You can always signal me. Just gather a bunch of your balloons and release them from the tower. Wherever I am, I will see them and come home right away." He kissed his daughter goodbye and rode off. Making any predictions here? As soon as the king had gone, the Archduke rushed in with the meanest guards from the kingdom. "At last, the chance I've been waiting for. Now I will be king. Guards, lock the princess in her room and destroy all of her horrible balloons. Destroy every balloon in the kingdom." Pop, wham, kablam! Princess Leora could hear the sound of balloons popping everywhere. How could she signal her father if she had no balloons? But there was something the Archduke did not know about. A secret passage that led to the chamber of Leora's friend, the wizard. Quickly, she slipped through a small opening behind a curtain and entered a dark, twisting stairway inside the walls of the castle. At last, she came to the wizard's chamber. "You must help me," whispered Princess Leora. Quickly, she told the wizard about the Archduke and all that he had done. "There's only one thing to do," said the wizard. "Find one whole balloon. Before the next sunrise, plant it under the tree that grows in the courtyard and say these magic words. 'Moon balloon, tickle the tree. 4 balloons, more balloons, blossom for me.'" The sun was setting as Princess Leora slipped through the castle gates to begin her search. She visited the richest lord in the city, but all of his balloons had been broken. She asked the butcher, she asked the baker, she asked the old toy maker, but no one had any balloons. She looked through dark alleys. She hunted in the empty marketplace and knocked on every door. At last, dawn was near, and there was nowhere else to look. Sadly, Princess Leora sat down by a small cottage. The little boy who lived there heard her and came to the window. "Princess Leora, what are you doing out here in the dark?" he asked. When the princess told him why she had to find a balloon before morning, a strange look came over the boy's face. "I can help you," he said. He ran off inside and came right back with a balloon. When I heard all of the balloons popping, I hid my last one at the back of my closet. I wanted to keep it, but you need it more than I do. That was very kind, wasn't it? Princess Leora thanked the boy and ran back through the empty marketplace, past the stores of the old butcher and the baker and the old toy maker, past the rich lord's house, and through the castle gates. The moon was just beginning to fade when she came to the tree in the courtyard. She knelt down next to it, dug a hole, and planted the balloon in it. Then she said the magic words. "Moon balloon, tickle the tree. 4 balloons, more balloons, blossom for me." Suddenly, the tree began to quiver. Tiny balloons blossomed on it and began to grow bigger and rounder. Princess Leora reached up to touch one, and hundreds came floating down. More and more balloons blossomed from the tree until they filled the whole courtyard. As the sun rose, they drifted through the gate. People leaned from their windows and rushed into the streets, shouting and pointing and laughing. "Pop those balloons," the Archduke shouted to his men. But whenever they tried, the magical balloons whizzed away. Before long, the whole city was filled with balloons. All the shopkeepers had to close their doors. All the chickens had to fly their coops. All the traffic had to stop. Still, the tree kept blossoming. All the workers had to play. All the schools had to close. Balloons were everywhere. Still, the tree kept blossoming. The Archduke jumped up and down with rage when he saw that his guards couldn't pop the balloons. He rushed at the tree with his spear, but suddenly a balloon blossomed on its point, and he bounced right back onto his bottom. Just then a balloon burst forth from the end of every spear. Madder than ever, the Archduke ran after Princess Leora, shouting, "I'll get you for this!" He was very angry. Far away, the king was riding through a dark forest when he saw a balloon caught on the branch of a tree. He thought that was a strange place for a balloon to be, but when he came to the edge of the forest, he saw something even stranger. His whole kingdom was filled with thousands and millions and zillions of balloons. "Leora," the king gasped. "She must be in great danger. Back to the castle at once." When the king galloped into the courtyard, he could see the Archduke screaming at the princess. "You spoiled everything," he was shouting at her. "It isn't fair. I want to be king." "Princess Leora was right about you, you traitor," the king thundered. "Knights, put the Archduke and his men right where they belong, in the dungeon." Then the king invited everyone in the kingdom to the biggest party there had ever been. The people played and danced and sang, and Princess Leora opened the royal treasure chest and gave everyone a present. The balloon tree stopped blossoming as the moon rose, but the party went on and on into the night. All the people stayed up past their bedtime. As for the Archduke and his men, they were in the dungeon for a long, long time, but they were never bored. They were kept very busy blowing up balloons. The end. The Balloon Tree by Phoebe Gilman. So boys and girls, today I asked you to think about the hamburger. I asked you to think about the beginning, the middle, and the end. And I would like you to write 5 sentences, 5 of them. 1 for the hamburger bun top, the beginning. 3 for the middle. First this happened, then that happened, because, then this happened, and finally the ending sentence. So your writing might look like, in the beginning, the king or Princess Leora, or however you want to begin the story. In the beginning, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. In the middle, deedly-deedly-deedly-dee, deedly-deedly-deedly-dee, deedly-deedly-deedly because a doodly-doodly-doodly-doo. And in the end, a yaddy-daddy-daddy-daddy. Try it. You'll be able to come up with 3 things that happened in the middle. I know you can. The Balloon Tree by Phoebe Gilman. If you would please print your answers on paper. I want to see your best printing. And don't worry too much about spelling. Just sound it out best you can. It does not have to be perfect. Write those 5 sentences for me. And please put your name at the top of the paper, nice and clear. Remember, it can be any old piece of paper. I'm not fussy. And just ask your parents or your guardian to take a picture and send it to me. You might be able to do that in the email function or the instant message function right on the virtual learning environment, or your parents can email me a picture later. It does not have to be perfect. It needs to be tidy so that I can read it. Just like our math numbers, we found out a way to tidy up representing numbers by tens today. I would like your very best writing and full sentences. And we know that that means capitals and periods or question marks or exclamation marks at the end of each one. Good luck. Send me your work. Bye for now.